Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. It is Tuesday the 16th of December and I have come on to do your romantic love / romance reading. Now in today's reading I'm going to be looking into your person's thoughts and feelings, perhaps their fears around the connection. We're also going to be taking a look at your thoughts and feelings, perhaps even fears around the connection as well. And then we're going to look at any potential blockages within the connection, okay? So trying to find a way, if there are any blockages, how we can move things forward here. So your person's thoughts and feelings, fears and blockages. Okay, we have manifestation. So your person is currently in deep thought and contemplation about what it really is that they want to manifest here in the future. We have understanding. Okay, let's get one more. We have hidden. Okay, so bottom deck, we also have the future. They're definitely in a frame of mind of really thinking about what it is they want to manifest here in the future, as I said. There's an element of asking for your understanding in some way, shape or form. We also have the hidden card here. So there's something they're hiding from you. This person here, like you can't even see their face. So they're hiding something. This could be their feelings towards you. It could be their feelings around the connection. It could be perhaps that there's no communication between you guys. Again, there's an element of asking for understanding here. Let's use tarot to see if we can get some deeper messages here. Tell me more about this manifestation card. This is your person's thoughts, feelings, fears, and potential blockages. Okay. What they really wanted to manifest here is an Ace of Pentacles situation. So a brand new start, a brand new beginning in offering stability. So if you were dealing with somebody who may have been a little bit unsure, were very indecisive, in and out, you know, very wishy-washy, they are thinking about actually, you know, their future and wanting to come forward and offer some form of stability here, okay? So this is consistent behavior. This is not somebody who is going to rush in and rush back out again. They want to, or they're thinking about really coming in to offer that, you know, that brand new start here. We have the Death card, okay? They are very much aware that a particular cycle has come to an end, right? Something has closed out here. It's going to have been a very difficult cycle for them, but I do feel as though this person in particular has learned some difficult lessons or some hard lessons here. They are definitely in a state of really just thinking about what it is I want, you know, in my future. Tell me more about this understanding card. Okay, we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse and we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. They're asking for your understanding in the fact that perhaps in the past with the Four of Pentacles, they were quite stubborn in the sense of really giving much to the connection. I feel an element of fear here with the Four of Pentacles being in reverse as well. They were fearful of giving too much. I do feel that this is maybe somebody who in the past has given quite a lot in terms of, you know, romantic relationships, and they may have been burnt quite badly here in the past. So it's almost like what I have now I want to cling on to for dear life. Okay, this could be linked also to, you know, their own self-worth or self-confidence as well. It doesn't always have to mean finances when we see pentacles, right? They're also asking for your understanding in the fact that I feel as though perhaps if you would try and communicate with them, perhaps you would try to communicate with them in regards to the connection, how you want things to move forward. Perhaps you would try to communicate with them how you felt certain blockages were getting in the way, and, you know, asking for their help in trying to move the connection forward. And I feel as though you may have been met with quite a lot of defensive energy here. Because with the Seven of Wands is somebody who's really just putting their guard up, you know, that wall comes up and they will say anything they can to kind of protect themselves or protect their heart, right? Tell me more about this hidden. What is this all about? What is this in regards to? Queen of Swords, okay. Let's get one more. Ace of Swords, right. So it does seem as though we have a feminine who has kind of stepped in here and put some kind of firm boundary in place. The Queen of Swords can be quite cold, it's quite a cutting energy, but it's a queen who has almost like had enough, like they've reached their limit, and, you know, they step in and they say or give some harsh truths here. Something definitely wasn't going right here, and we have this feminine who stepped in and said, right, enough is enough now. You either come to me correctly or you don't come near me at all, right? Ace of Swords. Again, there's that sword. It's very cold. It's very cutting. Perhaps what this person is hiding from you, if you've not really heard much from them since you perhaps put that boundary in place, what they're hiding could actually be how hurt they feel because of that boundary, or how how upset they feel that perhaps you have either moved away from the connection or basically told them, you know, enough is enough, sort your shit out, or, you know, this, we're not moving forward in any way, shape or form, right? Like I said, I do see here that what kind of went wrong here was someone was quite unwilling to give much to the connection, and whenever you tried to speak to them about it, you were met with defense. I just feel as though you kept hitting a brick wall with this person, okay? So let's look at your thoughts and feelings around this connection, perhaps also any blockages. So this is for the viewer, the person who's currently watching this. You have spiritual connection. So you're viewing this connection as something quite spiritual. You feel as though you're learning, you know, some difficult lessons from this. We have throat chakra healing. You're learning also how to stick up for yourself. So that links in very nicely here with that Queen of Swords energy, right? We also have third party. Okay, strength, divine feminine. Yeah. This person in particular, I feel, has triggered you. Now we do have the third party energy that has come out here, so it could be that perhaps you learn of a third party situation, so other energies getting involved within the connection. Okay, you are very much aware that now within this card there is a phone, so perhaps you found text messages or, you know, phone calls or what have you of your person actually you know, speaking or entertaining third party energy. That could have been what the boundary was about. I almost feel as though it's like you're not really giving much to the connection. Whenever I try and you know, sort things out with you to help move the connection forward, all you do is argue with me, all you do is bicker, you're always on the defense. I've had enough. It could also be, like I said, that you found out there was other energies involved with your person, and it was almost like, I feel this element of like, enough is enough now, right? Spiritual connection, like I said, you do feel very strongly that this connection is something quite spiritual. You're learning very difficult lessons from it, as are they, right? Throat chakra healing, this boundary you've put in place, I feel like this may have been like the first time you've directly said to somebody, do you know what, if you keep continuing with this behavior, or you keep continuing to not give to the connection or not try and help move the connection forward, then I am, you know, I'm moving on. I'm, you know, completely done here. So you are healing your throat chakra here. You're standing up for yourself. You're setting firm boundaries, and that really is going to help with your own self-worth as well, right? Again, third party, this, we'll look into that. Like, it could mean that perhaps they were too busy or focused on work, or too busy focusing on their pentacles. It could be friends and family that were getting involved and, you know, trying to mislead your person in some way, or give them some really bad advice. But we will look into that more. But yeah, we look for your energy. We have divine feminine. So I feel like you're somebody who has already been through a lot, especially in terms of like love and romance and relationships. Like, you know your worth, you know what it is you will and will not put up with, and it's almost like the moment you see a hint of a red flag, you're out of there, right? It took you a lot of strength to do this, but I feel like it was the right thing for you to do. Yeah, it was extremely triggering for you, extremely triggering. Whatever's happened here, it triggered the crap out of you, right? Tell me more about this spiritual connection. This is for the person viewing this reading. Tell me more about this spiritual connection. We have the Seven of Cups. And we have the Six of Wands. Yeah, you definitely feel as though, I mean, the victorious kind of card is showing up over that spiritual connection, as well as the Seven of Cups. You feel as though you have learned a huge lesson here. If you really stepped into your Queen of Swords energy and you put that boundary in place because you felt as though somebody was taking advantage of you, or somebody was being very unkind, or somebody just wasn't treating you the way you feel you deserve to be treated, you have learned a big lesson there. Regardless of how deeply I feel for you, how much I care for you, how much love is there, how much I really want to move forward with you in this connection, there's certain things that you're doing that I am not okay with, or I am not happy with, and therefore the connection just it comes to a halt, it comes to an end here, right? With the Seven of Cups being here as well, I feel as though you're also in that frame of mind of, you know, yeah, okay, this didn't work out, and if this doesn't ever come back round again, I know there's going to be other, you know, other cups, right? There's going to be more offers, because I am in such a healed place at the moment, and I am full of love, and I'm full of, you know, just that wanting a connection, a deep connection with somebody here. You know that if this doesn't come back round, then it was, you know, it never was meant to be, right? You're viewing it from a spiritual point of view rather than a, you know, a toxic way, or I don't feel like there's any of that, like, you know, poor me, you know, why did this happen to me? You've definitely learned a big lesson here, and it was difficult for you, it triggered you, and with the strength card being there, it's taken you a lot of strength to continue and moving forward with your life, but you are going to be rewarded for that big time, big time. Tell me more about this throat chakra healing. Why is this here? The throat chakra healing. That was upright, okay. Yeah, okay. So it's almost like in terms of stability with this person, I do feel as though you did feel as though there could have been potential to, you know, really build a future with this person. You saw stability in your future. You do, or you did view them as somebody who you could envision, you know, sharing a life with, perhaps, you know, living together, raising a family, right? But the Knight of Cups is here in reverse. Although they came across as quite stable in the sense of they were reliable, you know, they were perhaps in the same kind of headspace as you, there wasn't much love here, there wasn't much emotions being shared here, right? The Knight of Cups is in reverse. And again, if we're seeing the Four of Pentacles in reverse and the Seven of Wands in reverse, it's almost like whenever you try to speak to them about really being expressive in their emotions or being more emotionally vulnerable, because, you know, you need that within a connection to, you know, move forward in a very healthy way. Again, you were just met with defensive energy. You were met with, you know, I don't want to give much, or, you know, why are you continuously asking me this? You know, I just feel like there was constant arguments and bickering around a certain subject or a matter of fact, you know, within the connection. Now, I'm interested to see what this third party is. So let's go in and clarify. That kind of fell out. I don't really want to take that. Tell me more about this third party. Okay, Nine of Swords. Let's get one more. What is this third party all about? Eight of Cups. Oh, okay. Ten of Swords. Whoever this third party energy was, again, whether it was that they spent too much time or put too much effort into their work and, you know, getting their pentacles, or it was friends and family that were interfering in the connection and you know, stopping it from moving forward, or it generally was a third party energy. You found, again, like text messages, phone calls from, you know, another potential suitor, right? Whatever it was, this really, this was the catalyst for you to actually put that boundary in place and say, do you know what, enough is enough. And yes, with the strength and the triggering card here, that links in very nicely there with that Nine of Swords, because it really messed with your head for quite some time. And if I'm being honest, probably still does, right? You have a lot of questions that go on around in your head about this third party energy. It's almost like you never really got the full answers to, you felt as though people were interfering, but you never really got the truth of the matter here. Ten of Swords, yeah, it completely ended things. You felt completely betrayed. You felt completely betrayed by this person. You've gone from the 9 to the 10 of Swords, so it's almost like, yeah, that was enough for me to go, do you know what? This comes to an end now. Tens in tarot do symbolize endings, right? We also see the Death card up here. So they are also realizing that cycle, that previous cycle which you were going through together, it's run its course. It's come to an end here. You decided to walk away. You have decided to walk away. This situation does not fulfill me in any way, shape or form. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me feel happy. It doesn't make me feel positive. It just makes me feel crap. I mean, the fact that the Nine of Swords and the Ten of Swords are here with that Eight of Cups energy, it's like, why would I remain or keep myself in a situation where I'm constantly being made to feel so awful? Why would you? You want to surround yourself with people who make you happy, who make you feel positive, who bring warmth into your life, right? The people who are, you know, defensive, continuously argue with you, are too stubborn to really give that equal give and take within a connection. It doesn't even have to be romantic. It could be a platonic relationship. It could be a work situation, right? You're not going to give way more than the other person in any situation. You wouldn't turn up to a job, work, you know, a 15-hour shift and get paid for like £30. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just wouldn't do it. So yeah, you were just like, this just isn't doing it for me. This does not make me feel good. And that was enough for you to go, that's it, I'm off here. Interesting. Okay, so let's look at potential blockages in the way. So we see their kind of standpoint on the situation. We see where your headspace is at the moment. Let's see what the potential outcome could be next and see if there's any blockages in the way as well. So next steps and potential blockages. The Tower. Ooh. This is going to be a huge hurdle that needs to be overcome here, because something happened. There was some kind of shocking truth. There was something that happened suddenly. Something happened very abruptly. Whatever happened, it wasn't expected, right? I feel like somebody was completely blindsided here. And as I'm kind of saying that, I'm thinking back to that third party energy. So it could be that perhaps your person involved in the third party energy, or you finding, you know, them speaking or entertaining other people, was what this Tower is. Now, it's quite difficult to come back from the Tower, sorry. It's not impossible. You know, the building has completely burned down, but we do still have the foundations of the connection, okay? We know each other's boundaries, we know each other's triggers, right? Okay, we have the Empress. Let's get one more. Ace of Pentacles, Devil, Emperor. Okay. See, there is the chant. I'm going to cover the Star card because she's in the Nud, and the last time I showed a card of someone in the Nud, I almost got banned on YouTube. There is the possibility for this situation to be healed here with the Star card. We have the Two of Cups. There's only two people within this card, right? There's only two energies in this card. This is the equal give and take relationship. It's the equal give and take connection. This is, you know, I fill your cup, you fill mine. No one's given more than the other person. This is full on, you know, we are a team. We're working together, you know, to work on this relationship here. Now, I do see here as a potential blockage, perhaps the masculine within this connection behaving in quite a toxic way. The Devil could indicate addictions such as, you know, your typical drugs, alcohol, you know, gambling addictions, but it can also kind of symbolize somebody who sees things and deals with things from a kind of toxic frame of mind. When we're dealing with stuff from the Devil kind of energy, we're not really making decisions or thinking things through really with our heart. We're thinking very logically. The Emperor is a very logical energy as well. The Emperor can also be very stubborn and extremely set in their ways, okay? So it can be quite difficult to get an Emperor kind of character away from thinking things in a toxic way or dealing with things in a toxic manner, right? I want to know more about this Tower. What is this Tower? What was the sudden shock, the sudden change? It's like some kind of news that or something that you found out that was just like really... Yeah, it was really shocking. The Fool, okay. It could be here. Now, I need to, you know, take this as it resonates. I'm glad the Four of Cups has come out because it's kind of going to clarify what it is I was about to say. It could be that perhaps you, the viewer, felt as though you may have, you know, seen them entertain another third party energies. You may have found messages in their phone. You may have, you know, found out about them going to meet somebody or something like that. And you felt as though that they had moved on with somebody else here with the Fool card, right? Now, with the Four of Cups being here, I almost get this feeling of, yeah, like, you know, they can't gaslight you into telling you that you didn't see what you saw, or, you know, they didn't go and see somebody, or, you know, there wasn't somebody else involved. They cannot gaslight you into telling you that that's not the case at all. But it does seem as though this person who I'm reading for actually isn't even interested in this third party energy, or, you know, even what they have to offer this person. Feeling very disgruntled, very unenthusiastic about the offer that's coming in, okay? Now, as I'm seeing that, I'm drawn back to the Emperor and the Devil. Could your person have become defensive? We obviously saw that defensive energy whenever you tried to speak to them about things. Could it be that they perhaps used another third-party source or third-party energy to almost get revenge, or to try and make you jealous, or to try and... You know, I've seen this before where somebody will immediately, you know, act as though they're moving on to get that person jealous, to make them chase them even more. And it's almost like they may have done that, but it had the opposite effect here, because obviously we see you looking at this from a spiritual point of view, right? You're not out to seek revenge. You're not out here to be toxic or to chase anybody. It's almost like you show up as much as I do and we're good. If I feel like I'm chasing you for something, whether that is communication, whether that's love, affection, you know, you being emotionally vulnerable, whatever it is, I'm just not doing it. And it's as simple as that, right? You are standing very strongly here in the middle with the Empress energy. So yeah, I mean, like I did a reading, I think it was this time last week, in regards to somebody playing silly mind games in order to almost get back at an empress-like energy. And the difference is when you're dealing with a, you know, a typical everyday type of feminine rather than dealing with an empress, they're not going to play games with you. They will checkmate and do a runner. They will, you know, player two has left the game, right? They do not seek revenge. Because they look at it from a standpoint of, if that's how you are really going to behave, or if that is really your true colours, I don't even want you around my energy. Because it's bad energy, it's negative, it's toxic, right? Tell me more about this Empress. Tell me more about this Empress. I definitely see here, and I'm going to ask the question, if this connection was to come back round, I feel like the feminine at the moment is almost like, I'm not putting any more work into this. I've said what it is I've had to say. I've put that boundary in place. There's no hate here. There's no, you know, I don't wish them, you know, bad, but I'm just not dealing with it. And if they're not prepared to come forward and, you know, either take accountability for what they've done, or, you know, offer some form of apology, or even attempt to show up, you know, as equal give and take from the connection, then I'm just done with it, right? Let's get one more. King of Swords. Okay, there's that Empress again. We have the Lovers here with the King of Swords as well. I feel as though you, the viewer, if you are showing up as this Empress feminine energy, you're quite a spiritual person, so you do view connections very deeply. It's not like, you know, you're not dating just for the sake of it. You're not trying to meet people or to, you know, really build strong connections for the sake of it. You know, connections for you are meaningful. When you tell somebody you love them, you mean it. When you're in a relationship or in a connection with somebody, you really give your heart to that person, right? And you are actually viewing this person as quite cold, because they're showing up for you as the King of Swords. So it's almost like you are viewing them as, actually, if they weren't really willing to give much to connection before, they weren't being emotionally vulnerable before, whenever I've spoken to them, they become very defensive. But not only are they defensive, they're very cold in the way they speak to me. Yeah, it's almost like you're not really in that place at the moment where you're like feeling pitiful or sorry for yourself, because you're feeling as though you have kind of gotten away from quite a toxic energy. I do feel like it, you know, again, you do feel like you have learned a lot of lessons from this person and from this connection, but whatever this tower was, they really did do a number on you. They really did a number on you, and it made you see them in a completely different light. And yeah, like the way you're showing up, it's almost like the moment I see that, like my feelings switch off like that, and I can completely relate to that. If you're showing me shitty energy, or you're being quite a nasty person, you're being cruel in any way, or cold-hearted, whatever, I'm going to lose feelings for you. I'm going to lose those emotions for you. There's nothing in me that wants to give you more of my love when you're showing me those types of behavior, right? Ace of Pentacles is being clarified here by the Knight of Cups and also the Knight of Swords. Okay, wow. Wow, okay. Wow. Right. The Ace of Pentacles, the opportunity for a brand new beginning here. Okay, but again, I don't feel as though it should come from you. I don't even feel like it is going to come from you. If this comes back round again, it's gonna have to be them putting the effort in or putting the work in to come back round and make things right with you, right? But we do see here the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords. There's something I want to say here. There's some kind of truth that I want to speak of here. I have love, and I have that love for you. These deep feelings and emotions, they're for you, right? I'm not interested in this third party energy. I definitely do feel as though this person used a third party source to try and get at you, or to try and seek revenge in some way. At the moment, they're very much in their feelings. They're trying to temper their emotions. But we have the Ten of Cups here, so they do view this as something as, you know, quite fulfilling for them. The way they view you in this connection, it's almost like this person definitely fumbled you. This person definitely fumbled you, because again, it's almost like you were well ready for giving your all in the connection. were ready for everything that comes with being in a deep loving connection or commitment with somebody, right? They were the one playing games. They were the ones who were indecisive. They were the ones who weren't really willing to give to the connection. And it does seem as though, like I said, just very cold, very cutting with their words, or very emotionless, very, they didn't really give you much. So again, like, what have you got to kind of grieve when they didn't give you much in the first place? I want to know what this person's next steps are, because as I keep saying, they're going to have to be the ones who come forward to make their wrongs right here. I feel like the feminine in this situation is just like, yeah, okay, like if this doesn't come back round, then it is what it is. I've learned a huge lesson here and I'm moving on with my life. We have the King of Wands, we have the World, and we also have the Eight of Wands, okay. Nine of Wands, sorry. They're scared to communicate with you. Okay, they're scared to communicate with you. Look at this, they're very anxious. So whatever you said to them, whatever boundary you put in place, it's made them become fearful of actually reaching out to you. And again, it's nothing you've done wrong. You did the right thing here. It's something they're going to have to kind of find that inner strength to do, because again, I feel like they're the ones who did wrong here. They're the ones who have to make the situation right. So this person's next step, King of Wands, I feel as though when they're feeling more confident to communicate, because look, we've got someone really fearful and anxious around communication with you, and then we have them sat here as a king with that wand in their hand, ready to speak up here. It's almost like with the World card being here, the universe is saying when you're ready, there is a chance for a fresh start or a brand new cycle to begin here, okay? It doesn't even mean that you have to accept this person's apology. It doesn't even mean that you have to take this person back in any way, shape or form. But I do feel as though this person does owe you an apology. They definitely owe you an apology or some kind of explanation on a situation here, because something was very undercut here. It dealt with very unfairly, especially with that tower. That tower is such a brutal, shocking event that takes place, right? So yeah, it could be that actually them coming forward and apologising could actually help you both move forward in some way, but it doesn't always necessarily mean that you are, there's reconciliation here. I do see them in a stage of solitude at the moment. So although, we had that third party energy and you feel like they've moved on with a third party, we saw with the Four of Cups, they're not actually interested in what it is they have to offer them. But I also see them in a state of just wanting to be alone. They're spending a lot of time alone, and when they're alone, they're thinking. It's like this person they feel as though they've taken a huge blow here, and they're really having to recharge before they come forward. It could be them also thinking quite logically, because swords, can indicate that someone is thinking logically. We have the Page of Swords, so they're keeping a close eye on you. They want to know if you're willing to accept communication from them. They want to know if you've moved on. They want to know if, perhaps there is even a chance of reconciliation here. I see that in the future there is going to be communication that comes in. It is paired with the Seven of Swords, which usually I don't particularly like the Seven of Swords energy, but with these cards coming out together, it's almost indicating to me that the way they're going to communicate with you is going to be done in quite a sneaky way, right? So it could be that perhaps they show up to somewhere they know you go, right? Say you've got like a favourite coffee shop and they know that you go there every Saturday and you do, you check your emails, read your book, whatever. It's almost like they're going to purposely show up there so that they can like have that kind of open those lines of communication. It could be with, the holidays coming up, it could be a message coming in directly from them, happy holidays or Merry Christmas, I hope you have a lovely time, whatever. It's being done in a sneaky way that's almost coming across as, I don't want to come across as too needy or like desperate, but I do want to open these lines of communication. And the way they're going to open those lines of communication isn't going to be with like a text with them explaining or telling you that they're so in love with you and they want to win you back or win your heart back or anything like that. It's going to be done in a very kind of sly, logical, sneaky manner, right? Let's see if we can clarify these cards. Tell me more about this King of Wands. The Sun, yeah. They are going to find that strength and confidence to come back in and open these lines of communication with you. Again, I do see them at the moment. They're feeling very anxious about doing so. It could be like, I don't know what to say, or I don't even know where to begin. I don't know how to even open the lines of communication here, but they are in that deep contemplation kind of energy, and they're thinking very logically here, right? They're going to come back in to communicate with you because actually you are somebody who brought a lot of positive energy into their life. You made them feel very warm. You made them feel just very loved and nurtured, right? So it's, again, it doesn't even necessarily mean it has to be reconciliation here. It could be this person just realizing, do you know what? They were really good to me, or they were such a genuinely nice person, and they really didn't deserve, you know, what I did to them. It could just be that, like, I need to apologize. I need to get it off my chest if I even want to move on with my life. I need to, you know, do the right thing and give closure here. Let's get one more. Four of Pentacles, yeah. The communication is going to be around the reason why perhaps in the past they were quite stubborn, or why they weren't really willing to give much to the connection. And again, I don't really feel as though it has anything to do with you necessarily. I feel as though perhaps in the past they've been very badly burnt. And again, it was almost like they feared to really let you in case you would do the same to them, right? Because I feel like what they've been through in the past may have really knocked them, or knocked their confidence in some way, may have even knocked their stability. The fact is a pentacle, right? Could have affected their finances. It could have affected the, you know, their environment where they are living. It could have even have affected their job, right? Tell me more about this world. Tell me more about the world. Ace of Wands, yeah. That brand new passionate start, that brand new passionate beginning. Temperance in reverse. Like I said, the Temperance came out before, didn't it? And it was upright. Once they're in a state of mind of, okay, I feel happier, or I feel more confident, or I don't feel like overly emotional about the situation, because at the moment I do feel as though there is a lot of regret, and there's a lot of that energy of just feeling very down and out and sad, right? They have to get themselves out of that funk. They have to get themselves back into a place of, you know, feeling confident enough to really come forward to, again, open those lines of communication with you. And I feel like once they've done that and they're feeling more confident, that's when you're going to have communication from them. The Nine of Wands is being clarified here by the Magician. And the Three of Wands. Yeah, look, there's that Tower again. Tower is haunting this reading. They've made a decision here because we have a Three of Wands. The Two of Wands is somebody who, again, is really thinking about, remember we saw at the beginning, what is it I really want to manifest here in my future? That's the Two of Wands. The Three of Wands is I've made a decision, and I've taken that first step towards that specific decision, right? The Magician being here present as well, they're very much aware that this is only going to manifest for them if they do open those lines of communication. They're very much aware of that. It's like I feel as though they feel your energy is completely gone. They can't feel you around anymore. So I feel like this may be a no contact situation. You may not be in communication with this person. But yeah, okay, so let's end the reading with some oracle messages. Which one should I use? Let's use the Lost Love Notes, the mini ones. So this is how your person truly feels about you and towards the connection here. Now again, I definitely feel as though the ball will be in your court here. Whether you choose to reconcile with this person or not is entirely up to you. But I do feel as though you know, because you're viewing this from a very spiritual, logical kind of frame of mind, you will be willing to at least hear this person out, right? Meet me in the 5D. There's something about dreams here. There's something about dreams. Your person may dream of you often, or you may dream of your person. There's, you know, our subconscious really goes into kind of overdrive when we are sleeping. We don't really control what our mind is thinking about, right? And yeah, I just feel as though, meet me in the 5D, there's lots of dreams that are taking place here. This could be dreams that are helping them guide them back to you, or, you know, you're having dreams about them, because obviously we did see that they did trigger you quite badly with that third party situation, and we did see with the Nine of Swords, it does, you know, stress you out at times. You still kind of feel a sense of, oh my god, I can't believe they did that to me. Let's see what else. I miss the sound of your voice. So something about your voice that either soothes them or they just really find attractive. They really miss the sound of your voice. It could be that perhaps you guys would speak a lot or have very deep conversations. I'm giving you time and space. You are my queen. I think that's linked more to that third party energy. It's almost like they've got nothing on you. They have nothing on you. I'm just not interested in what it is they have to offer me. I've never met anyone who loves with the same intensity that you do. Yeah. I think that kind of scared them as well. The love that you've given them is not like love they've ever felt before. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I believe in my heart that we can make this work. Okay. So we definitely see an element of them missing you, having lots of dreams about you. They are giving you time and space at the moment, but I feel as though whilst they're giving you time and space, they're also going through some things themselves, right? They view you as their queen. Whatever or whoever this third party energy is, it may be more than one person, they're not interested in what they have to offer them in any way, shape or form. And we saw that very strongly with the Four of Cups. They're not interested. They're not enthusiastic about any offers that are currently coming their way from third party energies. They've never met anyone like you before. They've never met anybody who perhaps even views relationships from the way in which you view them, from a spiritual kind of point of view. Or, you know, the fact that you would take this, or you see this more as a lesson rather than, you know, feeling down and out about it or seeking revenge in any way. It's almost like, yeah, okay, that really hurt me, but it happened to teach me something. And I learned a huge lesson here. I learned how to speak up for myself. And in doing so, I'm healing that throat chakra, because I feel like whoever I'm reading for here, who was in the bottom energy, who was going through this throat chakra healing, you've been through so many situations in the past where you haven't stuck up for yourself, and you've always ended up being like really badly burnt or really badly hurt in some way, right? So this is the first time you've gone, actually no, I do not deserve this and I'm not putting up with it, right? I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Yeah, they definitely see a future with you. So what we can take from this reading is, I definitely see your person making their way back towards you. We saw with the Eight of Wands, the communication coming in with the Seven of Swords, I think it was. They're going to open the lines of communication in a way in which you're probably not expecting. So expect the unexpected. And yeah, entirely up to you whether you reconcile with this person or not, but I feel as though you will listen to what this person has to say, and this person, you know, owes you an apology at the least, right? Okay, so I'm going to leave that reading there. If you guys do enjoy my readings, please consider hitting that subscribe button on my YouTube channel, and I will check in with you guys soon. Take care.